Pa Arthur Okorie-Okowa on Thursday. Government House correspondent Miriam Uweke reports that among the sympathizers were the Speaker of the State House of Assembly, Right Honorable Cherry Borowori, some members of the State Executive Council. Others included Comrade Ovuzie Macaulay, Special Advisor, PDP leaders, chairmen and members of boards and commissions, as well as community leaders and religious leaders from the Christian and Muslim communities. The report.
It has been a harvest of positive testimonies by dignitaries and sympathizers who came to commiserate with the first family, as all of them vividly recall that Pa Arthur Okorie-Okowa was a quintessential teacher, father, and a loving community builder whose positive attributes transcend boundaries. In an interview with journalists at Owalero, sympathizers, including the Speaker of the State House of Assembly, Right Honorable Sheriff Borowori, the Commissioner for Information, Mr. Charles Aniagu, and the CPS to the Governor, Mr. Olisa Ifejika, said that the massive turnout of sympathizers was a clear indication that Pa Okowa affected lives positively, stressing that his legacies were enviable and legendary. While consoling the children of the late octogenarian and members of his immediate and extended families over the demise of their patriarch, they urged them to immortalize him by promoting the ideals that endeared their late father to humanity.
When you look at the children of Papa, especially His Excellency the Governor, you can see that he's a man who have had cause to bring up his children both in the fear of the law and in the love of society.
The way he raised his children, when you see the way the governor is piloting the affair of this state, you will know he raised his children very well. There is a time to be born and a time to die. Our prayer is when it pleases God to call us in our ripe ages. Papa we lived very well. At 88, he has done well.
God knows the best. He's been a comrade.
At the age of 88, any man who dies at that age, we have everything to thank God for.
He was a man that was very close to his children. He was a man who can tell politicians that are close to his son. So it meant that he had interest in his son and he knew those that were working with his son. He knew almost everybody in the state.
He's a father to every one of us. You know, as an educationist, he has been also one of the pillars that has helped me in the job because he calls me regularly to talk to me.
As at the time of filing this report, over 600 sympathizers had signed the condolence register where they extensively wrote on the achievements recorded by Pa Okowa and prayed God to grant his soul eternal rest.
Union of Journalists NUJ Delta State Council has condoled with the State Governor Dr. Ifeanyi Okowa on the demise of his father, Sir Arthur Okorie-Okowa. The union described the octogenarian and community leader as a thoroughbred professional teacher who was able to bring up successful children by inculcating sound moral values in them, especially the #1 citizen of the state who happens to be his son. In the statement signed by the chairman, Comrade Michael Ekeogu, and the secretary, Comrade Patrick Ochie, respectively, the union prayed God to grant the 88 years old Pa Okowa internal rest in his bosom. The statement also conveyed the condolences of the union to Governor Okowa's siblings, the government of Delta State and Deltans, noting that the occasion calls for the demonstration of love to the governor while mourning with him. In the same vein, the NUJ Delta State Council has commiserated with the Speaker and members of the Delta State House of Assembly over the death of the Majority Leader of the House, Honorable Timo Wefere, while describing the late Majority Leader as an exemplary lawmaker who distinguished himself within the capacity of his office. The State Council of the NUJ prayed for God's grace on the family to take solace in the fact that their father, brother, and husband lived a fulfilled life. People's Democratic Party PDP chieftain and former governorship aspirant in Delta State, Okakuru Charles Ubule, has commiserated with the first family of the state over the death of the patriarch, Chief Arthur Korea-Okowa, at the age of 88. In his condolence message, Okakuru Ubule described the demise of the governor's father as a huge loss to Delta State and the Okowa family. The Okpe-born business mogul noted that Chief Okowa was a stabilizing factor and a rallying point for the family, noting that Chief Okowa was a successful teacher who molded several persons now making wave in various fields of endeavor. While urging Governor Fayose Okowa to unify the family in line with the legacy left behind by his late father, he prayed God to grant the soul of Chief Okowa eternal rest in the family, the fortitude to bear the irreplaceable loss. In response to our report on the unauthorized and indiscriminate use of vehicles with tinted and sirens in the state less than 2 weeks ago, the Delta State Police Command on Thursday placed a ban on the indiscriminate and unauthorized use of sirens as well as vehicles with tinted windscreen, unapproved covering of vehicles plate numbers, illegal spy plate numbers, and revolving lights by unauthorized persons. DRTV correspondent Omonigo Eda in today's report sampled the views of some Deltans on the ban and its enforcement. The report.
The indiscriminate use of vehicles with tinted glasses and sirens has continued to generate security concerns among members of the public amid rising crime rate, especially kidnapping and armed robbery. The state has witnessed a surge in the number of kidnap cases, robbery, cultism, and other forms of crime, especially as the police withdrew from the road in the aftermath of the EndSARS protest that shook the nation to its foundation. Determined to tackle this menace, the new State Commissioner of Police, Mr. Ari Ali, as part of efforts to address the challenge, placed a ban on the abuse of sirens, tinted vehicles, windscreen, amongst others. The move was hailed by a cross-section of the public, but not without reservations. Speaking on the ban, some Deltas noted that making a law is one thing, while enforcement is another in Nigeria. They stress that laws in Nigeria only affect the poor and common man and not the rich, noting that the laws are usually flouted by some of the highly placed in the society.
It's not the day very embarrassing sometimes when you see only one person in the drive saying you could see the blows and people get it wrong. And then nobody is somehow embarrassing. But these are the Delta State, there's no law, so we have to bear it that way.
I'm Robert Khan, go somewhere, go rob now, blow siren they come, say they be politicians.
Of enforcement of Nigeria, they catch only the poor people. They catch the rich men, and so what would they talk about? So if you talk of say siren about this, now not be new thing for Nigeria. So bringing that matter, we are just deceive ourselves now.
They expressed fears that the marching order to officers of the command to thoroughly check and impound vehicles of defaulters will not be effectively enforced due to the high level of corruption bedeviling the force in other segments of the society.
The law they only hold the poor people, not the rich men. So if you talk of siren or even this way they even pull out about this tinted this thing, they catch a rich man. Now poor men, the politician, even when they put the law say no politician to when government put the law say no politician to carry escort, but we know they see them for the express. Not the express here now.
The State Commissioner of Police, Mr. Ari Ali, has solicited the understanding and cooperation of the public in the state in its quest to combat the high level of crime in the state. The Vehicle Act Cap M21 Section 1 Subsection A laws of the Federation prohibits the use of vehicles with tinted sirens, amongst other, without permits.
The member representing Udu and Ughelli Federal Constituency in the House of Representatives, Reverend Francis Waive, has called his constituents to fully cooperate with men of the Nigerian police in renewed determination to court and reduce crime to the barest minimum. Reverend Waive made the call when he visited the Burutu and Ughelli area commands of the Nigerian Police Force to present computer sets and cash gifts to enable them carry out their duties effectively. The RTV News correspondent Ogene Ronoibo reports that Reverend Waive was also at Otokoto community in Ughelli South to inspect the ongoing installation of two 500 kVA transformers influence for their community. The report.
Presenting the cash to the Ughelli area commander to refurbish broken down vehicles in the command and the computer set to the Burutu area commander and the DPO Onya police station, the member representing Udu in the Federal House of Representatives, Honorable Francis Waive, stated that although the NSAS protest started from Ughelli, he was happy that no police station was burned. Honorable Waive noted that in a contemporary society like Nigeria, the police force is required to play a major role in tackling crime, thereby paving the way for rapid socio-economic development in the country, while calling on the people of Udu and Ughelli to respect and cooperate with men of the Nigerian police force. The federal lawmaker assured of his readiness to always partner with the police to reduce crime and other social vices.
We need the police. I want to call on my people, the people of Ughelli North, Ughelli South and Udu. Let us cooperate with the police. Let us not stigmatize the police. Let us not demonize the police. Of course, there are a few bad eggs in every aspect of the Nigerian society. And for the police, it will not be an exception. But there are lots of good people in the Nigerian police force.
The House of Representative member representing Udu and Ughelli Federal Constituency, Honorable Francis Waive, was also at Otokoto community in Ughelli South to inspect the 500 kVA transformer he attracted to the area and assured them of more development projects. In their responses, the Ughelli area commander, Mr. Lawan Shukafi, and that of Burutu, Mr. Adekbegba Adetoye, and the president of Otokoto community, Nicholas Emura Yintete, commended Honorable Waive for this gesture and called on others to do likewise.
All went to be very important personalities to emulate this kind of gesture. Number two, like you said, we have to thank God for all he has done to us.
High point was the official presentation of items to the area command.
And that report concludes the RTV Media News. But before we go, a recap of our top story. The country home of Governor Ifeanyi Okowa in Owaliru in Ika North East local government area of Delta State has continued to witness influx of sympathizers following the death of his father, Pa Arthur Okowa, on Thursday. Government House correspondent Miriam Wake reports that among the sympathizers were the Speaker of the State House for Assembly, Right Honorable Chefo Borowori, some members of the State Executive Council. And that's it on the RTV Media News. Thank you for watching.